Hello, sir. My name is Rajkumar Sharma and enrollment number is MT20 ACS525. In this vlog, I will describe a tool named Gobuster. One of the primary steps in attacking an internet application is enumerating hidden directories and files. Doing so can often yield valuable information that makes it easier to execute a particular attack, leaving less room for errors and wasted time. There are many tools available to try to do this, but not all of them are created equally. GoBuster is a record scanner written in Go language, which can perform brute force attack on servers to find exposed directories or files in command line environment. The primary benefit GoBuster has over other directory scanner is speed. Programming language Go is understood to be fast and it can do concurrent transactions very quickly. It also has excellent help support so that GoBuster can benefit from multiple threads for quicker processing. GoBuster can also detect DNS subdomains, virtual host names, as well as new feature has been added to this tool recently, which allows to find open Amazon S3 buckets. These buckets are made for cloud object storage and might get exposed over internet if not configured correctly. A system tester can use this tool to perform testing of servers in order to find exposed points. Now, in order to use GoBuster, we need some list of keywords or common names of directories and files. If we use Kali Linux, we get some default word list with it. However, content of these lists are very limited. Another option is Seclists. It is a collection of multiple types of lists collected at one place, which can be used during security assessment or testing. It include it includes leaked or common usernames, password, URL, sensitive data patterns, various kind of payloads and web shells, all perfectly categorized and sorted. It can be obtained from GitHub at this link github.com Daniel Miseler slash checklist. And we can also install it in Kali Linux very easily using command sudo apt-get install checklist. Now let's move to our Kali Linux virtual machine and see some example use cases of GoBuster. Now we are in our Kali Linux machine and first we will learn how to install GoBuster. For that, open the terminal and type sudo apt-get install GoBuster. Then hit enter, provide your password, then again hit enter. It will download all required files and install automatically. I have installed it earlier, hence it is showing GoBuster is already the newest version. Similarly, we will install Seclists. So for that, type sudo apt-get install then Seclists and hit enter. Provide your password if asked and then hit enter again. Again, I have already installed it as well. Next, in order to check checklist file which we will use in order to perform brute force attack, we need to go to user share folder. Type cd slash user usr slash share slash checklists. Now hit enter. Now type ls to list the contents of checklist directory. As we can see, we have several folders here. First is discovery directory. It contains various word lists for performing discovery of DNS, file systems, infrastructures, mainframe, SNMP, variables, and web content. Under web content directory, we have word list of various common softwares. For example, we have apache.txt. This contains all the words which are related to Apache servers. Similarly, apache.first.txt is also similar way which contains all the word list common words related to Apache servers. There are some big text, big.txt as well, which contains lots of common words. And there are also golang.txt, graphql.txt, http post microsoft first.txt, passwords first.txt, oracle.txt. So these all contains data or word list about these particular technologies. So it is very helpful in order to perform brute force attacks. Now let's also look at the content of DNS folder. For that, type ls, and under discovery, ls discovery slash DNS and hit enter. So under DNS folder, we also have some DNS common DNS word list like DNS jahadix.txt, namelist.txt, or stack overflow.txt, which contains all the common terms related to subdomains or DNS. Now, as I told earlier, we also have some basic word list files in Kali Linux as well. They are available under user share folder as well. So we will go to user share, that is cd slash user slash share, hit enter, and here we have a directory named word list, hit enter, and we can see content of this directory. Here we have Derby list, dir buster list, some fast track word list, meta exploited related list, as well as rocu text file which holds leaked user password. So under Derby folder, we have various word lists. These lists can also be used for directory or file brute forcing. One thing to note before we begin to brute force any host, that we should begin with a small dataset first. The Seclists are correctly categorized and sorted. For example, if we know that target host is using Apache web server, we can use Apache web list at first. This will reduce number of requests significantly and chances of getting results will be very high. So let's see an example. So here we have some common.txt. If we see how many words are there in this file, for that we can type cat common.txt pipe, then wc for word count dash l for line count. Sorry, it is inside Derby folder. So we will go inside Derby folder and then again give this same command. So here we can see we have 4614 records here. And if we see big.txt, cat big.txt pipe wc dash l, we have somewhat 20,000 records in it. So it is a very huge list and request to server will be very huge as well. Now in order to reduce such request, we can use Apache text under this Seclist. For that, we can see cat user share Seclist discovery web content apache.txt, and then following pipe and word count of lines. So here we see we only have 33. So it is very less. So number of request is very less, therefore server will not block our request and we can easily get information about these. Moving ahead, in order to see options which can be used with Gobuster, first let me clear it. So we can type Gobuster and hit enter without typing anything, any parameter. Available commands are listed here, that dir, it can be used to perform directory or file enumeration. Second is DNS, it can be used to enumerate DNS subdomains. Third is fudge, it can be used to perform permutation based attacks. Help, it can be used to view help about any command. S3, it can be used to enumerate Amazon Web Services buckets. Version, command can be used to see the current version, and last is vhost, which can be used to perform virtual host enumeration. We can also apply some flags along with these modes. These are global flags. So under flags, first is dash dash delay followed by duration. It can be used to specify wait time between each new request. It is useful if web application is configured to block concurrent requests. Next is dash h. It can be used to show help similar to help command. Next is dash dash no dash error. It can be used to hide the errors being displayed in the output. Next is dash g or dash dash no progress. This can be used to hide the progress in the output. Next is dash o or dash dash output followed by a string path. This can be used to specify any file where the output can be stored. By default, it displays the result in console only. Next is dash p or dash dash pattern followed by an string. It can be used to specify any pattern based matching. For example, if some files are named as image underscore 1, image underscore 2, so on, then we can set that pattern here. Next is dash q or dash dash quiet. This can be used to hide unnecessary details in the output. It will only display required details. Next is dash t or dash dash threads followed by an integer value. Using this flag, we can limit number of threads launched by Gobuster. More powerful processor can process more threads concurrently, which leads to faster attack. Next is dash v or dash dash verbose. By using this flag, it will print detailed output including errors, if any. Last is dash w or dash dash word list followed by a string. This flag is used to specify path of word list file. We can also see more details about each command using this command. Gobuster and then command name. Let me clear it. So Gobuster. Suppose we want to see more detail about dir enumeration. So we will type dir command then followed by dash dash help. Okay, we see now we have more flag and options here. First is say uses directory slash file enumeration mode, and uses is gobuster dir followed by any flag if we want to. That are these are optionals. So these flags are common to this command, that is dir, and these are global flags which we have already discussed. So first one is dash f or dash dash add slash. So it will append a slash to each request. Next is dash c. It can be used to specify cookies. Next is dash d. It can be used to find any file which is under the backup. Next is dash dash exclude length and followed by integers. So we can tell the GoBuster to exclude any content whose length is greater than a supplied integer value. Next is dash e. If using this mode, it will print full URLs in the output. Next is dash x, which is extension followed by string. So this can be used to search for a specific extension file. Like if we want to search only image file, then we can supply dash x and followed by jpg or png, or we can also specify multiple files separated by comma, so it will look for only those files. Next is dash r, which orders the GoBuster to follow the redirects or not. Without dash r, it will not follow the redirects. Next is dash h. So using this flag, we can specify HTTP headers. Next is dash h, which is similar to dash dash help. It will show the help. Next is dash dash hide length. So it will hide the length of the body in the output. Next is dash m followed by a string. So it can be used to specify HTTP method. Next is dash n. So using this flag, it will not print any status codes. Status codes which are received from server like 200 OK status. Next is dash k, which indicates that it will skip the TLS certificate verification. Next is dash p followed by string. So we can supply any password for basic authentication. Next is dash proxy followed by string. If we want to specify any proxy, then we can specify using here dash random agent. So using this, we can randomize a user agent. And then next is dash s followed by string. So we can specify which status codes should be checked and produced in the output. Like on we want to print only 200 status code results, then we can specify that dash s is then space then 200, so it will only print or show the outputs which have this status code. Next is dash b. So if we want to block any particular status code, like if some websites have installs Cloudflare, so if Cloudflare is installed, it will deny the enumeration and send some invalid status codes like 530. So if we want to block those invalid requests so that it doesn't come in output because it is not really needed, then we can specify dash b followed by 530, so it will not print that status code in the output. Next is dash timeout followed by duration. So this can be used to specify how long Gobuster should wait before timing out. Next is dash u and followed by string. We can specify the target URL, that is web address or any file address. Then next is dash a followed by string. We can set a user agent here. If by default it uses the user agent as Gobuster slash its version. Next is dash u space string. So we can specify username for any authentication if it is required. Dash u is for username and dash p for password. Next is dash wildcard. If we want to enumerate any wildcard on the wildcard basis, suppose if we want to enumerate 1.0.0 all IP addresses inside this, so we can use this wildcard flag. So we have these global flags which will work with this dir command as well, and we have already discussed it. Next, our command is DNS. So we can also see its options. For that, Gobuster DNS dash help. So these are flags available with this command. First is dash D. That it using this we can specify target domain or its IP address. Then dash H for help. Dash R can be used if we want to use custom DNS server, and then dash c if we want to show the cname records, and dash I if we want to show the IP addresses as well of those DNS servers. Next is all our basic dash timeout to resolve how much time it should wait to resolve the DNS domains. Next is dash wildcard, which is also similar to dir wildcard as we already seen. Next is fudge mode. We can also see its help, that is Gobuster fudge dash h. So in this we have dash c to specify cookies if we want to use any. Dash b we can block negative status codes as we already discussed in dir mode. Dash r is also similar. We want to follow redirects, we can supply this flag. Dash h if you want to specify any http headers. Dash h for help. Dash m if we want to specify any http method of like get or post. Then dash k can be used if we want to skip the TLS certificate verification. Similarly, dash u and dash p for specifying username and password, dash u for URL, and dash a for user agent. Now we will see help for S3, that is AWS buckets dash dash help. So we have dash h flag if we want to print this help, dash m flag if we want to specify maximum files to list when listing buckets, means how many records needs to be shown on the output. Next, we can also specify proxy using dash dash proxy. We can randomize the agent using this flag. We can also specify timeout, and also we can also change the user agent using dash a flag. Last one is vhost. Gobuster vhost dash h or dash dash help. Again, we have similar flags, dash c for cookies, dash r for follow redirects, and all are similar as dir command. Moving ahead, let's see some demo. We have a metasploitable vulnerable machine running on IP address 192.168.112.93. So we will perform a directory brute force attack on that machine and try to identify if there are any exposed directories or files available on that server. So let me clear it. Now we will see Gobuster dir because we want to enumerate the directories and files. Then we can type dash u for specifying URLs. In our case, it is 192.168.112.93. Followed by this, we want to specify a word list, that is dash w. Now we have multiple word list, as we already know that our server is running Apache. So I am using seclist apache.txt, which contains 33 records. Now hit enter. So here we see that Gobuster version is this, and this is developed by these persons, and which URL we have opt for scanning, that is http 192.168.112.93. Method is get. How many threads are running by default? 10 threads. Which word list we are using? That is seclist apache.txt. Now negative status codes is 404, means it will not display any output which returns this status code 404. User agent by default it uses Gobuster slash its version, and timeout duration is 10 seconds by default. Now it has started scanning at this time and in this mode. Here it has observed some directories, that is .st is visible, .st password directory is visible, and dash server status is also visible. Its status is 403 and size of the body contents was 296 and 300, and scan is finished on this time. Now if we want to change these parameters, like let me open up let me clear the screen. Let me open another side pane. So here we can open the manual, that is Gobuster dir-h. So we want to suppose see the expanded result. So for that we can supply dash e target. So Gobuster, then dir dash u. So we are again trying this attack on our vulnerable machine. Then I will specify dash e. It will show expanded output. Now earlier we have seen that it has only listed slash dot stxs and these files. Now it is also specifying complete web address of these directories or files. Similarly, if we want to find any specific files, then we can supply extensions using dash x flag, and followed by, suppose we want to find any PHP related file or any JPG file. So we can see that there are two files with .php extensions, and there are two files as jpg extensions as well. Earlier they were not visible in our scan, but after we have specified that we should look for these extensions file, so it has searched for those and listed out if it finds any. Similarly, we can also use more options, like if we want to specify maximum thread to be 50. So for that I will supply same command and dash t for threads, and I will say 50. Now hit enter. So now we can see that threads count is 50. So this way we can perform brute force attack on dir mode. Next is if we want to hide the progress, so we can use this dash g, that will show no progress. So I am giving same command here, and in last I am supplying flag as dash g. So it has not shown any verbose output. It has not shown any progress actually. It has just result result has been directly shown without showing any connecting, waiting, processing, similar kind of text. Because it is in our local system, so speed is very fast, that's why we couldn't observe it. Next is if we want to write this output in a particular file. Suppose now we do not have any file named scan results, so let me provide this output in an text file name scan results. So for this we can give same command, that is Gobuster, and directory mode on our vulnerable machine, and same apache.txt, and we want to give output in scan results.txt. Now if I do the ls, here we can see we have scan results.txt, and if we see the content of this file, so we can see all the findings here listed in this file. So this way we can store the results as well. Next is let's move ahead to DNS mode. Let me open up the help for DNS command. Let's perform a DNS brute force attack. For that, type Gobuster, then DNS, then dash D to specify any domain. Okay, so let's specify a domain like google.com, and followed by this we can supply a word list, that is /w. Now we will be supplying a DNS word list, or we can also use some common word list as well. So let me use common word list, user share followed by word list, and then derby, then common.txt. So it has started in DNS enumeration mode, and we have 4615 words, so it will try each and every one, and it will report us all these subdomains which it can find. It will take some time to complete, and if right now it is only printing these web addresses, so if we also want it to print the IP address along with this, so we will give same command, just at the end we will use dash I flag. Okay, that is here show IPs. Now if we hit enter, it will now show the IPs as well. Let's wait for the scan to complete a bit. So now we can see that aa.google.com with IP address is 142.251.42.14. So this way it works in DNS brute forcing. I am terminating it with the help of Control C. Let me clear the screen. Let's move ahead. Next is our vhost or virtual host enumeration mode. So let me open the help for vhost. Now let's go ahead and do some brute force attack of virtual host on some websites. For example, I will say dash u for URL, that is https my site.com. Then we can supply a word list, that is suppose common word list from Derby. User slash share slash word list, then Derby, then common.txt. Now started Gobuster in vhost enumeration mode. It will search for these virtual host. Okay, it has connection has been denied on this website. Let's try another, that is google.com. Okay, so it has found some detail, some files or directories, sorry, virtual host under google.com domain. Some are like .base dash history .google.com, dash base rc and dash sta.google.com. So similarly, it can find with the help of any word list, it can enumerate the virtual host. Virtual host is not similar to DNS in actually DNS. In DNS enumeration, it will find subdomains, while in the virtual host, it will find only the host which appear as that website. Next, moving ahead with fuzz mode. To use fuzz mode, let me open the help Gobuster dash fudge and dash h. So in fudge mode, if we want to use fudge mode, then we can type one example as Gobuster fudge followed by dash u for URL http slash forward avrdc dot org, then question mark, then we will write fudge and followed by any value here, then we will supply any word list using dash w flag. So again I will be using common word list which is available at user share word list rp common.txt. So what it does in this mode is here in the place of fuzz word, it will replace this fuzz word with all the words listed in this common.txt word file, and it will try to check whether this URL resource exists or not. So it has observed status 301 on this head equals to 10. It has also identified .st equals to 10 is also, it is redirecting actually. So similarly, it will try to find whether this type of parameters exist in this web address or not. So it is quite useful in detecting all the arguments or parameters available in these websites. Next, moving ahead, uh, last one is S3 mode, that is Amazon buckets enumeration mode. Let me open the help for it for your reference. Now let's go ahead with an example, that is Gobuster, then S3, then we can specify word list as either dash w or word list. We can specify a word list file here. and it will start enumerating. If it finds any matching buckets, then it will print the results here. These are all publicly exposed S3 buckets on Amazon Cloud. We can also use or we can also give some pattern based matching to it. For that, we need to create a pattern file. I have created one pattern file under downloads directory. Let me show it to you first. Named is pattern.txt. Let's see some content of this by typing head patterns.txt. It will show first 10 records inside this text file. So the pattern is like bracket Gobuster and then 1, 2, 3, and similarly there are some words as well. So what it will do is it will replace this Gobuster with this 1, with 2, 3, and similarly whatever is following this Gobuster, it will replace these, it will use these words in order to enumerate the S3 buckets. It is similar to word list but not exactly a word list. Now it will, what it will do, it will mainly pick up a word from word list, then it will replace it here, and then it will add one to it. For example, let's use this pattern.txt in order to find some open buckets. For that, I will type Gobuster S3. We will specify this word list, and then we will specify pattern using dash p patterns.txt, and we want to print the verbose output, so can we get to know what is actually happening. So now what we are seeing that it has now first it has identified administrator.s3.amazonaws.com, and what happens while accessing it, it has given an error as access denied. We It cannot access this S3 bucket. It has found that this bucket exists, but it we cannot access it. Access is denied. So using this pattern, what it did is it picked up this common this word from common.txt and replaced it in using with the help of pattern.txt, and then it tried to identify whether this bucket exists or not. Then it has shown the output. Let's move ahead to conclusions. We have seen how GoBuster can be used to explore exposed directories and files in web applications or servers. As we already know, brute force attack is a time consuming task. However, using Seclist categorized word list, this task becomes somewhat easy. Brute force techniques takes time, but it is guaranteed to get success given enough time. But there is one drawback, that if the word lists are not complete, means they don't have all possible combinations, then it will never achieve success. Another problem with brute force technique is that web application or servers may block too many concurrent requests. There are many tools available for performing these tasks, for example, dir busters, wfuzz, and owasp jap. But GoBuster is fastest and most efficient among all. Coming to prevention from such brute force techniques on directories and files, we can deploy multiple solutions. First one is to change the names of files and directories to some uncommon name. For example, directories containing images can be named as image underscore website name. Second solution is assigning proper authentication mechanism. In this, we need to follow least privilege access strategy. Each resource should be allocated minimum possible privilege, and default access policy can be set to private or restricted. Third is enabling CAPTCHA codes. The CAPTCHA codes cannot be decoded by common systems. This will help in reduced any attack launched by computers or botnets. Fourth is limiting number of failed access attempts. We should limit the failed attempts in order to stop brute force attack. For example, we can set max failed attempts for login are 5. If anyone tries to attempt 6 times, then system should lock that user account for certain amount of time. Last is we should regularly perform testing on web application for vulnerabilities. and keep patching the system to make it more secure. I hope this vlog has helped in knowing Gobuster tool working. Thank you.